Cue the sound. Good. Hi, welcome. It's Comeback Yoga, level 2 class. Starting in a few minutes. If you have any questions, you can type them into our chat box. As you know, because you are a user of the internet and you understand how YouTube works. Welcome to Comeback Yoga. Our level 2 class. Comeback Yoga is a nonprofit. We offer yoga classes and meditation classes to people who have a military background. And you can find more about us at comebackyoga.org if you are interested. And this class is 50 minutes long, and I'll offer different variations, poses, so that you can see. You could choose what you want to do throughout class. That's important. Um, and let's get started. Start by sitting as comfortably as possible. You can put one hand in the other, palms facing up, your thumbs touching. Sitting up tall. Roll through your shoulders, move your head around. Breathe deep. Once you've settled into your breath, you can start to encourage your inhales and your exhales to be about the same length. Bring your hands together and rub your hands together. And wrap your arms around your shoulders. Connect to your senses. Start to turn your senses inward. Just acknowledge your different senses that you have available to you right now. Start to turn your attention and your ability to sense things, turn that inside. So listen to your thoughts and listen to your breathing and feel and experience your internal self. Inhaling and gliding your arms out to T. Exhaling and curl, Bring your hands together out in front of you. Tuck your chin and curl your spine. Inhaling to open wide. Lift your rib cage. Lift your gaze. Exhaling, taking your left hand down, your right arm up and over, and draw a couple of circles with your right arm. Inhaling, gliding your arms out to T. Exhaling, curl. Put your hands together. Inhaling to open wide. Exhaling, take your right hand down. Your left arm goes around in circles. Placing your fingertips behind you, lifting your rib cage, and walking your hands forward and leaning forward into forward fold. Inhaling to lift, taking your legs out in front of you, wrapping your arms around your legs, giving yourself a good stretch, and leaning back, straightening out your legs, lifting your rib cage, pressing out through your heels, bring your toes toward your shins. Crossing your legs underneath you, putting your hands on the floor, and moving through your spine in cat and cow. Taking your right leg back behind you and draw little circles with your heel. Bring your knee up towards your elbow and stretch it back, and bring your knee underneath your body towards your chest and stretch it back, and bring your knee towards your opposite elbow underneath you and bring it back, and both knees down. Tuck your toes under, hips move back toward your heels. Lift up, walk your hands forward, lean in upward facing dog, stretching out the front side of your body. Roll over your toes, stretch back into downward facing dog. Both knees down, move through cat and cow again. Lifting and lowering, moving through your spine. Stretching your right leg back. Bringing your right knee up towards your right elbow and stretching it back. And your right knee towards your chest, stretching it back. Your right knee towards your opposite elbow, stretch back. And both knees down, hips move back toward your heels. Lean forward in upward facing dog and pull back into downward facing dog. Put your knees down, touch your big toes together, sit back, look up towards the top of your mat, and keep turning your senses inward. Observe your space. Take your left forearm down onto the floor. Your right arm goes behind, underneath your left arm, and rotate your upper body. Bring both forearms down. Lift up. Keep your forearms on the floor. Straighten your legs into a dolphin pose. Both knees down. Keep your right forearm down. Take your left arm over towards the right. And lift. Put your left forearm back down onto the floor. Tuck your toes under. And lift the toes. Knees down. Put your big toes together to touch. Lift up. Sit up and look forward. Top of your mat. Glide forward. Lean in upward facing dog. And pull back into downward facing dog. Walking your hands back towards your feet back towards the back of your mat. Hang forward, bend your knees, roll yourself up. Inhale to stretch up. Exhale and take your right forearm underneath your left forearm, your elbows crossing your elbows. Shifting weight onto your left foot, take your right leg forward and cross over and sit down into eagle pose. Unwrap your arms, take your right hand to your right knee and to your right shin, and bring yourself into bird of paradise. Sit your right leg forward, step forward into pyramid pose. Your right arm comes down, your left arm is up in a triangle pose. Hands together in front of your chest, bend your knees and stand up. Taking your left arm underneath your right, stepping forward, and your right leg goes over your left. Sit down in eagle pose. Unwrapping, holding on, coming into bird of paradise. Your toe could be on the floor, your knee could be in the air. You can hold on to your knee or to the front of your shin. And sticking your left leg forward, balance. Roll your foot down, walk your feet out a little bit, and hinge into pyramid pose. And open into triangle. Bend your knees and lift. Gather together, step together at the top of your mat. Inhale to lift up, exhale, arms to the walls, hinge forward. Put your hands on the floor and step back to plank, or you can hop back to plank if you like to hop. You're doming out your upper back, pulling up and in at your belly, pressing back through your heels. Hinging at your hips, finding downward facing dog. Your left leg stretches back, your left knee bends, open and stack, left hip over right hip. Curl your left knee underneath towards your left elbow. And glide back, three-legged dog. Curl left knee underneath your body towards your chest. Your left leg goes back in the three-legged dog. Your left knee comes underneath your body over towards your opposite elbow. Your left leg stretches back. Your left leg comes down. Both knees come down, untuck your toes, hips move back toward your heels, and rock a little bit side to side. And lift and lean forward, upward facing dog. And pull back, downward facing dog. Now switching legs. Your right leg stretches back. Your right knee curls underneath you. Your right knee comes up towards your right elbow, plank position, and then glide back, three-legged dog. Your right knee comes underneath your chest. Stretch back, three-legged dog. Your right knee comes back underneath your body, cross. And your right leg comes back, and feet down, and knees down. Untuck your toes, and hips move back toward the heels. Rock a little bit from side to side. Hands by your knees and lift. Looking up towards the top of your mat. Roll through your shoulders, up and back and down. Rock back onto your toes, pop your knees, and bring yourself in a squat. Your arms are on the insides of your knees, your hands are on the floor. If you want, you can do the arm balance where you lift up, snug your legs onto your upper arms and lean forward. An option. Maybe your feet come up off the floor, maybe they don't. They don't have to. If your feet are off the floor, you can put them back down. Come back into your squat pose. Straighten your legs. Coming into a forward fold. Bend your knees and lift yourself up. Sweeping your arms overhead, putting your hands together. Draw your hands down center line of your body. Step forward with your left foot. We're coming into dancer pose. Your left arm reaches up, your right arm reaches back, your right foot floats, your right knee bends. Hold on to your foot and extend. You can curl your right knee forward. Hold on to it. And step down. And we're in pyramid pose. Hinging at your hips, hands together at your chest. Bend your knees and lift. And easing into the other side. Left arm's up, right arm's back. You can bend your back knee and hold onto your foot. Need to watch on the side. Curling your back knee in front of you. You can hold on to it in a revolved position, and then stepping down, easing into the pyramid pose, hinging forward. Put your hands on the floor. You're sort of at the top of your mat. Walk back to plank. Your knees are down. Walk your knees out a little bit, touch your fixed toes. Your hips move back toward your heels and rock from side to side. Hands to the tops of your legs and lift your torso. Look forward down towards the top of your mat. Walk your knees towards each other. Slide forward in upward facing dog. Move your hips back, cross your legs underneath you. Sit back into boat pose. Straighten your legs and lean over your legs. Reach down and hold on to your right leg and take it back with you as you rock. Cross your right leg over your left leg. Slide your hands down the tops of your legs. Lift your torso, uncross. Reach down and hold on to your left leg. Drag it back with you as you rock. Left leg comes down on top of your right leg and lean forward. Lift up, uncross. Press out through your heels. Hands back behind you and lift your rib cage. Cross your legs underneath you. Hands out the top of your mat, lean forward, upward facing dog. And tuck your toes under and come into a devotional pose. Your forehead can come down towards the floor. Your arms are outstretched. Keep the pose tucked under. Bring yourself up into foot stretching pose. Sitting your hips on your heels. Taking your hands to the floor and straightening your legs. Walking your hands back. Bringing your hands to the fronts of your legs, bending your knees and lifting yourself up. Sweeping your arms out and up and overhead. Exhaling your hands down center line of your body. Stepping forward onto your left foot. Let's find our dancer pose again. Left arm forward, right arm back, hold on. Move your thigh back. Lift through your rib cage. This time release your leg, put your hands together, and let's tilt into balancing warrior. Take your time. There's no rush. Keep refining your posture. Slowly let your back leg come down, bending into your front knee, going into a warrior one pose, and opening into triangle. Left arm down, right arm up. Lifting your torso, stepping together at the top of your mat, inhaling to reach up, exhaling, arms out to T, hinge forward. Put your hands on the floor, step back, hop back to plank. Knees down, lean forward in upward facing dog and pull back into downward facing dog. Walk your hands and your feet towards each other. Bend your knees, glide up. Coming into dancer pose on the other side, right foot forward, left foot back, holding on. I've got the wall kind of close here. This is my less bouncy side, so I keep to give myself extra support. And you can start to stretch into balancing warrior. Again, give yourself extra support if you want it, if you feel like you want it. Nice job. Put your back foot down, coming into warrior one, bending into your front knee, lifting your arms, and opening into the triangle pose, tilting and stretching and lengthening your spine. Bending your front knee, lifting up, stepping together at the top of your mat, inhaling to reach up, exhaling, arms out, hinge forward, hands at the front of your legs, hands on the floor, step back to plank. Knees down, hips back in devotional. You can take your forehead down towards the floor. Lift your head, lean forward in upward facing dog. Pull back into downward facing dog. Pedaling out your feet. Walking your hands and your feet towards each other in the middle of your mat. Put your hands on the fronts of your legs, come into half forward fold, and lift up to stand. Hands together. Walk your feet out a little bit. Sit back in the chair pose. Inhale to reach up, and then reach out. Turn your palms down and hinge forward, about halfway. Gather your thumbs in towards your shoulders, reach forward. Exhale, bend your knees and sweep your arms in big circles. Connect your palms. Draw your hands down center line of your body. Shifting weight onto your left foot, bring your right leg into floating part of tree pose. Toes could be on the floor, foot could be on the inside of your lower leg, foot could be on your thigh. Releasing your right leg back out, putting your foot down, and shifting into tree pose on the other side. You can do a different variation of tree pose if you know one and you like one too, of course. Any variation that you like. Stepping down, inhaling to reach up and reach out, turning your palms down and hinging forward. Inhaling to gather in, reach forward. Exhaling, bending your knees, sweeping your arms, big circles, connect your palms, drawing your hands down, center line of your body. You're in the middle of your mat. Step your left foot forward and your right foot back. Coming into pyramid pose, hinging forward. Keep a long spine. Ease into your triangle pose. Left arm on the inside of your left leg, right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Put your hands together, rotate your upper body. Right arm on the outside of your left leg, left arm reaches up. Hands back together in the center of your chest. Bend your knees and pull your torso up gently. Switching your feet, right foot forward, left foot back. And hinging at your hips, easing into pyramid pose, and then opening into triangle. Hands coming back together in front of your chest. Your left arm comes the outside of your left leg. Your right arm reaches up any amount. Hands back together in front of your chest. Bend your knees. Stand up and step back together in the middle of your mat. We'll revisit our eagle pose. Left arm underneath your right arm. Shifting weight. Wrapping your left leg over your right leg and sitting down. You can refine this by wrapping your left leg a little bit more or pulling your elbows down a little bit more, sitting down a little deeper. You could also refine it a different way by putting your toes on the floor and sinking more, or putting the backs of your hands together and finding more engagement in your chest. It's not always about going more twisty. Sometimes it's about accessing more strength or accessing more balance. Unwrapping your left leg, unwrapping your arms, stretching your arms out to T, and then finding your other wrap, arms around each other, shifting and crossing, sitting down into the eagle pose, unwrapping and stepping down and standing up tall. You can turn your palms forward, kind of opening your forearms and then letting your hands hang softly. Inhaling to glide your arms out to T. Exhaling to hinge forward. You're still facing towards the top of your mat. You're in the middle of your mat. Bend your knees a lot. Curl over your legs and sit down in a squat pose. Walk your hands forward towards the top of your mat. Place your knees on the floor, tops of your feet on the floor. Sit back and put your hands on the tops of your legs. Take your left hand around behind you and your right arm reaches up and back. Back to center, roll through your shoulders. Take your right arm back behind you and your left arm reaches up and back. And take both hands out in front of you and curl over your legs. This time in child's pose with your arms back behind you, the backs of your wrists resting lightly on the floor with your palms facing up. Lining yourself up, placing your hands on the floor, tucking your toes under, stretching your heels down towards the floor, walking your feet back into plank. You can hinge in the downward facing dog and ease back in a few times. Release down. Cross your legs underneath you. Heading back. Stretching your legs out in front of you and roll through your feet. Reach down and hold on. And rock. Cross one leg over the other and lean forward. Lifting your torso and crossing. Reach down and hold on to your other leg and rock. Crossing forward. Uncrossing, pressing out through your heels. Putting your hands back behind you. Lifting your ribcage. Pressing your legs underneath you. Placing your hands out in front of you. Leaning in upward facing dog. Tucking your toes under. Your hips move back toward your heels. Allow your forehead to come down towards the floor and rock a little bit. Tuck your toes, tops of your feet on the floor. Lift your torso. Come all the way up to seated. Roll through your shoulders, up and back and down. Walking your knees towards each other. Take your hands over towards your left hip. Turn and look. Slide your hands over towards your right hip. Turn and look. Taking your hands down towards the floor, tucking your toes under, rocking yourself back in a squat. Arms on the insides of your legs. Your head drop down. And I'll give you one more option to do this arm balance. You could do this arm balance in a couple different ways. You can scooch, lean, shift, and float. You can float for a second. You can float for a long time. Or you can put your knees on the floor, cross your ankles, and float your knees. So you have your feet on the floor. You could do that variation. Or you could do another variation that you know and like, any variation that you want. There's a side variation where you bring your arms over to the side and over. Whatever variation you're doing of any arm balance, including a plank position, you can gradually bring yourself to seated, sitting back towards the back of your mat, putting your legs out in front of you. One more time, we'll bring one leg in and rock, and cross, and lean, and lift, hold and rock, and cross, and lean, and uncross. Reach down, hold on to your leg, hold on with your opposite foot or your opposite hand, and stretch. Switch sides, reach down, hold on with your opposite hand to your opposite foot, and stretch. And both legs down, sit up tall, and curl over your legs. Lift your torso, cross the legs underneath you. Plant your hands, tuck your toes under, stretch in the downward facing dog. Knees come down, touch your big toes, and sit back and sit up. And roll through your shoulders. Grab your left arm behind your body and take your right hand to your left shoulder and look. And switch sides. Wrap around. Right hand to your left shoulder. This is your left hand. Left hand to your right shoulder and turn and look. And face forward. Okay, releasing into pigeon pose. Hands to glide up towards the top of your mat. Right knee comes forward, left leg goes long back behind you. Your right forearm comes down. Your left hand to your left hip. Turn and look. Bending, holding on, encouraging your heel to come closer towards your hip. Tucking your back toes under. Lift your back thigh, lift your back knee a little bit, and putting your leg down. Now we're going the other way, crossing your left forearm across the short edge of your mat. Square your hips, wrap your right arm around behind you, and hold on to your foot behind you. Now, I say hold on to your foot behind you, but that might not happen, and it's not doesn't have to happen. It's not. It's just a direction. Unwrapping and gliding your legs out in front of you. Heels on the floor, sitting up tall, and curl over your legs. And sit up. And now your left knee's forward, your right leg's back. Rocking in your pigeon pose. Refining your posture. Your left forearm stays crossed, shoulder to your mat. Reach back and hold on to your right hand, or your right hand to your right foot, encouraging your heel to come closer towards your hip. Releasing, right forearm across. Your left hand comes around behind you and holds onto your big toe. And rocking around a little bit in your pigeon. Lifting up. Sticking both legs out in front of you. Roll through your feet and your ankles. Scooting your hips forward. Rolling back onto your back. Bringing your knees to your chest and drawing circles with your knees. Reaching down and holding onto your big toes. Turn the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling and kick around and move around in happy baby pose. Soles of your feet together. Hold onto your feet and let your knees swing out to the sides. Knees towards each other. Put your feet back down onto the floor. Hands on the top of your stomach. And breathe deep. Inhale and exhale. Ease the soles of your feet towards each other and let your knees swing out to the side. Gather your legs, cross your right ankle over your left knee. Let your legs wing over to the right. Ease around a little bit, wiggle around a little bit. Coming back to your center, uncrossing, crossing your left ankle over your right knee, roll over. Back to center, crossing your right ankle over your left knee. And now your legs wing to the same side as your crossed foot. So overhead. Legs back through center and cross and glide over. Good. Back through center, uncrossing your legs and bring your knees into your chest. Hold on, kick around and move around. Reach down and hold on to your feet. Turn the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling and kick around. Okay, roll back up to seated. Stick your left leg long out in front of you and pick up your right leg and encourage your right foot to come somewhere along the length of your left leg. Right arm comes around behind you. You can hold on. Your left hand can reach down towards your left foot. And if you feel like it, you can tilt forward a little bit. This is a pretzel pose. Release your arms. Stretch both legs out in front of you. Wrap your arms behind your legs and push your torso toward your thighs. And we're switching sides. Your left leg and cross. Your left leg, your ankle comes somewhere along the length of your right leg. And you're wrapping around and maybe holding on to your foot and reaching down and holding on to your other foot. Unwrap, release your grip if you had one. Stretch both legs long, heels on the floor. Wrap your arms underneath your leg. Lean back, hold on to your big toes. And then let's balance and straighten. You might tall back. Okay, let's make sure you have plenty of space behind you. And bend your knees. Straighten your legs out in front of you. Wiggle yourself forward. Hook your thumbs and lower yourself down onto the floor, all the way down. Once you come down, you can let your feet flop open from the center line of your body. And take your arms long down by your sides with your palms facing up. Breathe deep. Open your fingers and the palms. And soften the centers of your hands and let your fingers curl in softly towards the center. As you breathe in, find your resting position. You might not stay like this. Maybe you turn a little bit, or maybe you move onto your side, or maybe stick your legs up a little. You can do anything you want for your resting position. Here, the real result purpose of all this stretching and moving around, putting yourself in different positions, putting your hips up, opening your shoulders up. This is the point here, is this place where you can rest, where your mind can rest, where your body can rest. You can let all your things, your stuff, just kind of melt away a little bit. It'll still be there after class. It doesn't magically go away, but sometimes your perspective can change. That's what resilience is. Giving yourself space, allowing your perspective to change, giving yourself time to heal, and the tools to give yourself support. So you're welcome to stay in resting position as long as you want to. And maybe you turn into a nap, or maybe you give yourself your meditation practice, or whatever you want to do is fine. If you are ready, you can roll through your fingers and your wrist, and wiggle through your shoulders, and through your hips, and roll over onto one side, and gradually bring yourself back up to seated. Ah, bring your hands together and rubbing your hands together. Pulling your thumbs toward your sternum, tucking your elbows in at your side. Good, now tall. Breathe deep. Taking a soft inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And one more inhale and exhale. Notice your state of mind, notice your state of your body, and observe if there's anything that you did or thought or felt that you'd like to keep with you for the rest of your day and maybe bring to your next practice. Maybe there's something that you let go of. Maybe there's something that you found. Whatever it is, maybe you feel the same. Whatever it is, give your practice a chance. Give your practice a chance to work on you, and keep coming back. Keep coming back to practice, and keep practicing. And I will too. We'll see you again next time. Take care.